Joining us now is Tony Montalto. His daughter Gina was killed last year in the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. She was just 14 years old. And Tony has since helped launch Stand with Parkland, an advocacy group made up of parents and spouses of Parkland victims. Tony, good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
As someone who lost their child in a mass shooting, I just can't even imagine the pain. What is it like now waking up in the last couple of weeks to news of yet another one, let alone another two?
Every time there's been a shooting since the tragedy that took my daughter and the 16 other wonderful souls, it brings all of the families that were affected back to that terrible day. But what we've tried to do is band together, and our group specifically is about school safety. And we look at it in a holistic way, which is the need to secure the campuses of the schools, the need to have better mental health screening and support programs, and finally, if you want to own a weapon, we need to have responsible firearms ownership.
Now, I just went through some of the data, and there is widespread support for universal background checks. Even the majority of Americans support a ban on assault weapons. One study found that magazine restrictions decrease the number of mass shootings. I know you have met with a number of members of Congress on both sides of the aisle. What do you think Congress could pass right now that would make a difference?
Well, Stand with Parkland, our responsible firearms ownership platform, for our goal for the 116th Congress is to see universal background checks pass. Now, we know that the House earlier this year passed H.R. 8. We know there's some reluctance to adopt that in the Senate. However, we want to encourage the Senate to come up with their own background check act and then talk to the people in the House. We need both sides to come together to solve that. Also,
what's wrong with the House bill? I'm just curious, when you said the Senate should come up with their own and then talk to the House versus just taking up the House bill. What do you see as differences that maybe should be addressed?
I don't pretend to know all the differences, but I can tell you that when we've spoken to members of the Senate, that we've heard that they're not fans of the House bill. So our suggestion is to try and bring people together to solve the problems. We don't have to be the ones to do it. We need to advocate to bring people together and get our elected leaders to do the things they need to do, and that's keep Americans safe. One of the things we asked is, after we met with Lindsey Graham in February, we asked him to hold a hearing on the red flag laws or extreme risk protection orders, and the Senate held that hearing in the Judicial Committee in the end of March. And we're pleased that Senator Graham moved that way. But we do need more action. We can't just have hearings. We can't just have talking about it. Right. We need our elected leaders to act to help protect our students, our children, our teachers, and our citizens.
Absolutely. You're an airline captain, so I think this analogy might resonate with you. You know, back in 2001, a man tried to blow up a plane with an explosive hidden in his shoe, and for the last 18 years, we've all had to remove our shoes at the airport. In that same time frame, though, we've had 7 of our top 10 deadliest mass shootings, and no sweeping changes have been made at the federal level. Just how frustrating is that?
Well, frankly, I can tell you I wish something had been done before Valentine's Day in 2018, and my wonderful daughter would still be here with us. It is this example that I use to say that the status quo is not working. I don't pretend to have all the answers. Our group doesn't pretend to have all the answers, but we know that the answers lie within our government. We need Congress to start working together. We need the President to lead on this issue and to help try and make everyone safer.
Tony Montalto, thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you.